So when you get to be old and you have a very hard time sleeping at night, I'm very lucky to be fortunate enough to have a room like this where I can come in and play the piano and do whatever I want to do. So this is a song that I wrote, gotta be a year and a half ago, thinking about that young girl, Laken Riley, who was murdered over by the UGA campus by an illegal alien. And I'd had the thought that I gave to a film school student about a video that maybe we could write that would include picture of the family at the cemetery, and then the motorcade after the cemetery scene is over, and the mother walks in the front door of the house and she sits down at the sofa, and there's a family photo album on the table, and she starts thumbing through all the family photos of her daughter. And of course the tears are coming down her face. And then she takes a slow walk upstairs into the daughter's bedroom and starts to look at all of the memorabilia around the daughter's room, just working her way around the room. And then she finally just sits down on the bed sobbing and holding one of the daughter's stuffed animals and just wondering how senseless the whole thing was. So, and that's generally how I try to write most of the music. I think of movie scenes and potential scenes and try to write music that might fit that. And so each one of these areas of the music fits that particular scene. And this is at the cemetery. Then the mother comes in the front door and now she starts to make her way up the stairs. That picture frame you see behind on the wall that's lit up, that's the score sheets that Larry Brown had sent me for Andy Williams' Christmas present. It was really a nice thing that he did for me to send me that. And so in my little music room here, I have my Technics SL100C sitting over here, and I've got a 6-disc carousel changer that's hooked up to a Topping D50 DAC that really sounds very nice. And then on top of that, I've got another E50 DAC that's coming out of my Sony BluRay player that I've got set to PCM, or just digital audio, and that's probably my nicest sounding rig. And then I've got a pair of really nice Triangle Comet bookshelf loudspeakers that you see sitting over here. And then in the back, my recording software, which is, I use Sony SoundForge 12.6. I have 17, but I've always really liked SoundForge 12.6. It's got some real nice displays. It's got a graphic equalizer display. It's got an FFT display built into it. And it's also got a vector display so I can see what the possible stereo spread is of any recording that I've done. And then also in here I have, when I buy my used LP finds, my first clean is using a mechanical spin clean disc washer. And I built a little drying rack that holds 25 LPs. And there's a video of that on my YouTube channel if you want to see. I made that up out of a 12-foot wide, but 2.5-foot long piece of pine. And I borrowed a friend's drill press and I drilled some dowels vertically, and I have a space to dry 25 LPs that I clean at a time. And then over here on the right, which you can't really see, but I have a Project VC2, which is a vacuum record cleaner. And so once I've really gotten all the grit and grime out of it with the spin clean, I'll then clean it with distilled water, both sides of that, and then I'll vacuum the water off of that, and that really gets my LPs really pristine. And then from my old reel-to-reel days, I still have a couple of these bulky racers, and these are really good at getting all the static electricity off the LPs. And if you've obviously heard all the snap, crackle, and pops in some of your vinyl, it's probably because of static electricity. And that tape demagnetizer does a real good job of getting rid of all of it. So most of my LPs don't make any noise whatsoever. So, and I treated myself to a present. I don't know how far I'm going to go, but in grade school, in 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, I was in the band. Chuck Solberg was also in the band in the clarinet section, along with David Teston. And we were all pretty good clarinet players, surprisingly. But as time went on, I got pretty serious about it, and I was in 3 citywide contests, and I won 2 third places, and then I won a first place as well. And so I just bought this off of Amazon, and my biggest problem is that I have COPD now, and so I only have half my lung capacity, and of course this is all lung capacity here. So I'm going to try and pick up where I left off, 60 years ago? So we'll see how that goes. I went ahead and bought a better mouthpiece from Forbes. It was a beginning mouthpiece. It was about 45 bucks. A really good mouthpiece will run you around $100 or more, depending on what you want to do. So I tried to upgrade the clarinet some to make it a little bit easier for me to blow. So I try to do that maybe a half an hour a day, but it's going to take me a while to get my lung capacity up where I can really do anything with that. So, but we'll see where that goes. Now I have, being retired, I have plenty of time on my hands. So that's not really an issue. Guess you can consider this my NPR Tiny Desk Concert. something mysterious. A lot of times what I'll do is just come in here and just start rambling. Well, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you have been able to sleep and you're watching this sometime in the daytime.